Wrecking Crew released on June 18th, 1985 on the Famicom. You may remember the previous video on Versus Wrecking Crew, which was an arcade game. Despite most Versus system versions being mostly the same as their console variations, Wrecking Crew is different enough from Versus Wrecking Crew that I'd straight up say that they're different games. I've gotten far enough into the series that this is the first game that will take multiple parts to cover. This game has 100 unique phases to play, and I'll split each part into having 25 phases. You could actually choose any phase you'd like right when booting up the game, and pressing the select button brings you right back to the title screen so you could retry right away if you messed up in a level. Given that the ability to quickly retry any level you mess up is designed to be part of the experience, I do not beat all 100 phases in one go, as I really don't think that's something that's intended anyways. I don't think this is any different from using passwords for games that have that built into their progression. Story-wise, this game is clearly set around the same time as Versus Wrecking Crew. Mario and Luigi are working at the Wrecking Crew and are going against gotcha wrenches like before, but we also get a direct antagonist in the form of Foreman Spike. You'll likely recognize this character from the 2023 Mario film, where he says the line, and I am quoting him exactly here, "You will never be Super Mario Bros." I definitely believe the implication, at least at the time of this game's creation, is that Spike is not directly affiliated with Mario and Luigi. It's possible that he is the foreman of the buildings themselves, and he comes into conflict with Mario and Luigi due to them trying to destroy them. Morally, who is in the right here, I cannot tell you. Maybe these buildings do need to be destroyed given that they're filled with monsters. The Switch Online description does kind of spoil a lot of what we're going to see in the future, and weirdly implies that this game happens once Mario has already begun his adventures in the next game. I don't know if that makes a ton of sense with other info in the series, but I will try to mention this implication in the future. For now, though, I'm still assuming that this is his Odd Jobs era. The manual has a lot of neat art showing off various mechanics that will be used in the levels. A mechanic that most people tend to only show off at the beginning of the playthrough is the 5 hidden Mario letters hidden in many of the stages throughout the game. Each is hidden behind a specific wall in the stage, and you have to break all 5 in the proper order to be gifted an extra life. These do not need to be the first 5 walls you break in the level, you just need to make sure that they are hit in the right order in relation to each other. They could even be the last 5 if needed. Not every level has them, and there's some levels that have them in their layouts but are impossible to actually get because of how the level needs to be beaten. The other mechanic is the prize bombs, which are only present on some levels in the game. If you hit this specific bomb as the third bomb in the stage, it will give you 1 of 4 prizes, determined by the phase count and how many times you've swung the hammer on the stage. 3 of the prizes are just extra points, though one of them is the golden hammer. This allows you to swing faster, break all walls in one hit, knock out enemies with proper timing, and even float if you use it properly. The floating definitely feels like a glitch to me, especially with how wonky it feels to use, though it is later referenced in Smash Bros. As an actual mechanic, so who knows. Now, while I don't consider either of these bonuses as part of 100%ing the game, I still do want to show off as much as I can for these games. So I made the decision to try and show off every single achievable set of Mario letters, as well as every prize bomb that I am aware of. There is one caveat though. 1 set of Mario letters and 2 prize bombs I wasn't able to get without save states. I will still show these off with the notice that they weren't gotten legitimately. All the other ones I got without save states. It should be noted that some levels you will only see me get a few letters, rather than the full set. Unless otherwise stated, this will be because it's impossible to get all 5 with how the level is structured. As far as I'm aware, there aren't any other videos on YouTube that showcase all of these. The way I learned of these locations is from Strategy Wiki's maps, which I will try to link in the description if YouTube lets me. Mechanically, this game is quite different than Versus Wrecking Crew. A lot of the objects work the same, but the way they're implemented into the level design is very different. A lot of the puzzle solutions focused on the increased height of the levels, and traversing the level tends to be the biggest challenge of a given stage. It is very easy to softlock yourself, since breaking a ladder that you need to use to progress is something you'll do if you aren't paying too much attention. You no longer need to destroy all the bombs in the level to complete them. If you manage to get every enemy on the opposite side of the screen using the doors, it pauses all obstacles temporarily and opens all the doors in the level to reduce the chances of enemies staying there. This is shown a couple times in my playthrough. There are now metal drums scattered throughout the stages which you could drop on enemies to trap them, which permanently removes them as a threat. This can also happen to you though. Enemy-wise, there's 4 varieties in the game. There are 2 kinds of gotcha wrenches, with there being a purple variety, which is just the regular gotcha wrench, and this red variety, which is called a gotcha wrench junior. I suppose that means the gotcha wrench juniors are also in versus Wrecking Crew, but whoops, I didn't know that. Functionally, all that is different is their speed. They do work differently than in versus Wrecking Crew though, this time focusing on following you and changing directions anytime they run into a ladder. I think trying to juke these guys out is the most fun part of any of the levels, because it requires strategizing without feeling like it's unfair. Like I mentioned in the other video, there are no axe gotcha wrenches in this one. After every 4 stages, there is a bonus stage, which is similar to the versus equivalent, except now you're racing Spike to get the coin. Here's the golden hammer, which is gotten using that weird equation I showed earlier. I'm just showcasing its various functions here. Knocking enemies over is way harder than it looks, so it isn't an instant win. The hammer lasts as long as you can stay alive, and even persists through stages. Once you die though, it's gone. Floating with the hammer is so jank that I'm convinced it was originally a glitch. The manual doesn't even mention the prize bumps at all, so I can't say for sure, but it feels like you're abusing the speed of Mario's hammer swing. I have the golden hammer in a few stages, but it isn't something I have for most of the game. A completely new enemy is the Eggplant Man. These guys suck. Theoretically, they seem like they'd be a whole lot easier to deal with than the gotcha wrenches, as they follow a pattern. Usually they head in one direction and climb any ladders they come across. For whatever reason though, their AI feels so inconsistent. I'm not sure if this is even intentional or not, but sometimes they could randomly do actions that don't make much sense given what their behavior should be. Eggplant men can bump into each other to change directions, but I have no idea what actually triggers if this is going to happen or not. A lot of the time they'll just bump into each other, but sometimes they just won't. Sometimes they'll get stuck in the same spot as another enemy and both will continuously bump into each other endlessly, and sometimes an enemy will bump into itself and just change direction on the fly with zero indication at all. Their AI is weird enough that scrolling the screen will change the speed at which these guys move, despite you not actually interacting with them at all. If there's a small amount of them, it really doesn't matter, but any level with a big amount of them is bound to be miserable to try to get all the Mario letters on. Also, it adds sentient produce to the world Mario lives in. The final unique enemy is our boy Spike himself, where he's present on a bunch of the levels. He's by far the most complex of the enemies, though he can't damage you directly. He can defeat you in the sense of trapping you under a barrel, but nothing will actually trigger a death animation or lose a life. Soft locking is an immediate game over in terms of a high score though, so that might be worse. He's always on the other side of the screen, and he follows you around and tries to knock you to the bottom of the stage. He can't interact with enemies directly without breaking a wall they're in front of, but will commonly try to open doors to lead enemies back to your side. A lot of the levels focus around trying to lure Spike around in a way that he won't knock you down. He's definitely annoying, but I think it works here in a way that the Eggplant Men don't, since he's designed to be a nuisance that you need to outsmart, compared to the Eggplant Men being a nuisance because the game can barely handle them. The vast majority of these videos is just going to be the game itself, since most of the unique mechanics get introduced right at the beginning, and the levels are more so focused on these limited mechanics in interesting ways. I will talk about the levels that cause me a particular difficulty though. Generally speaking, I think it's fun to talk about video game level designs as real locations in-universe, just because it can result in funny implications for the world that these characters live in. This game though, I really don't know how to even begin speculating. All of the buildings are laid out in a way that's so far disconnected from any conceivable purpose that I don't know what to make of it. Some of this could be chalked up to them to already being in a state of destruction, with the gameplay being the final stages of this demolition. There being monsters that live in these buildings could also maybe mean that these are already abandoned buildings that monsters are just messing around with, which leads to these absurd layouts. I wish I could say more about these, but the lack of any defining features that give an indication for what these buildings are means any level will still result in a, I don't know, answer.